Look, airlines will always look to sell their capacity at a good rate, right? And that should be the way. But I think what has fundamentally changed is that when we started out, we were knocking on everybody's door, and not everybody would hear us in 2017, 18, and it was a rough start. That has changed fundamentally. Airlines today are very, very aware of the fact that digital distribution is the way to go for them. It reduces their sales cost. It helps them to price better. It helps them to target their customers at any given point. And on the other hand, freight forwarders have learned that you don't have to write an email to 10 airlines and blind copy to get unstructured data back that you then evaluate to an offer and then try to call them to book. You can do that all in one on Cargo.one. You log in, you do your search, you get hundreds of results at the click of a button. You can select these offers. You can book them in real time with instant confirmation. And so all of that has changed. And I think we're here now in a day and age where freight forwarders and airlines have understood that that's the way to do business in the short term, but also in the longer term.
We are here at the IATA World Cargo Symposium in Hong Kong, and from this conference, we bring a series of conversations with world's leading air cargo and logistic company leaders. With me in conversation today is Moritz Claussen. He is the founder and co-CEO of Cargo.one. Moritz, great to have you for this conversation.
Thank you for having me, Reji.
Moritz, let's start with the news that came out this morning. How important was adding Emirates Sky Cargo to your list of airline customers?
Look, it's a great name. It's a great brand. I'm not going to lie. We're very happy about that partnership. We're very happy about the partnership with the team there. We've done a lot of work to make sure that we bring solutions for every shipment to our customers. And Emirates, obviously, as a big brand, a major carrier, plays a big role in that. And we're very, very happy to have them on the platform. We're also very happy to be helping them to reach their customers in a digital and very friendly way.
Bring us up to speed with the enhancement, improvement, evolution of your digital sales platform for airline customers ever since it's been launched.
Yeah, there's a lot to bring you up to speed on. I think when we started out 2017, we started out with the idea to connect airlines and freight forwarders on a platform similar to what we know as passengers going on to trip.com, kayak.com and booking a seat. And we've evolved a lot. We today have more than 55 airlines that we've built live integrations into their cargo systems, which means we can now allow freight forwarders to search and book with these airlines instant confirmation. And we've gone way beyond that. Over the past years, we've developed data solutions for airlines to better be able to price their offering and to better be able to target their customers. And for freight forwarders, we've built out a whole new platform to not just be able to interact with airlines, but also manage their rates on pre-post carriage, their local charges, to have their tracking rates in there, all in an effort essentially to help our customers on the freight forwarding side to deliver a door-to-door quote to a customer in real time as accurately as possible. And that's what we've been working on, and we continue to work on that. And it's super exciting to see a lot of large freight forwarders kind of coming onto the platform and utilizing these services.
Is there also a change in the demand from the airline customers or freight forwarders over the years in terms of how they find capacity for forwarders and how airlines sell their capacity? Are they just looking to sell their capacity at the optimum rate?
Look, airlines will always look to sell their capacity at a good rate, right? And that should be the way. But I think what has fundamentally changed is that when we started out, we were knocking on everybody's door, and not everybody would hear us in 2017, 18, and it was a rough start. That has changed fundamentally. Airlines today are very, very aware of the fact that digital distribution is the way to go for them. It reduces their sales cost. It helps them to price better. It helps them to target their customers at any given point. And on the other hand, freight forwarders have learned that you don't have to write an email to 10 airlines and blind copy to get unstructured data back that you then evaluate to an offer and then try to call them to book. You can do that all in one on Cargo.one. You log in, you do your search, you get hundreds of results at the click of a button. You can select these offers. You can book them in real time with instant confirmation. And so all of that has changed. And I think we're here now in a day and age where freight forwarders and airlines have understood that that's the way to do business in the short term, but also in the longer term.
Your platform forwarders, how has that evolved over a period of time, and what is their specific demands in this digital era?
So I mentioned door-to-door quoting, and I think that's a big thing. If we talk to small but also large freight forwarders today at a board level, they think about how can they win more business. And if we think about how to win more business as a freight forwarder, it comes down to the quotation process. Actually, you get a shipper request, usually through email, and they will ask you to quote something. Sometimes it's a tender, but in the shorter term market, it's an email. And what then happens is, as a freight forwarder, you start to look at all of your different suppliers, the air carrier, the trucking provider, the ground handler, and you will try to combine all of your sell rates into something that is a buy rate, into a quotation to that shipper. And when you don't have full visibility of all of your costs, all of the buy rates essentially, you aren't able instantly or in real time to deliver a quote that is accurate to a customer. Once you start, working on digitalizing all of these rates with Cargo.one, and once you have visibility on what a trucking rate is, what a local charges are, what the air freight rate is through the APIs that we give to you, you're able to door-to-door quote instantly and super accurately, which then in turn helps you to win more business, to turn these quotations into bookings, and to then book them through Cargo.one on the air carrier as well.
Moritz, you have solutions for in the forwarding industry. You have enterprise solutions, you have small and medium businesses, then you have import and export agents, and for air freight managers. Tell us more details about this and how solutions are made for each of these categories.
So Cargo.one as a platform in the starter version is free to any freight forwarder to use. You can search all of the offers of the 55 partner airlines that we have. You can book them, you can track them, and that all happens for free. And then there are different kind of upgradable versions of Cargo.one that allow you to do a lot more than that. You can manage your rates, your FOBs, your local charges, your trucking rates on Cargo.one. You can track in more fancy ways than just on the free version. But what we also do today is we allow all of the services that we have on the platform to actually be utilized through APIs. So if you have your own trade management system or you use one of the big providers and you want to integrate that into your trade management system, you can do that today. So we can give you access to about 55 airlines through one single API instead of having to integrate 55 APIs. And what many freight forwarders don't tend to understand in the early days when they start to integrate airlines is that, yes, the integration is one bit, then the upkeeping of these integrations is the second bit. And then making sure that the offer quality, the offering that comes through these APIs into your TMS is actually good is the third piece. And so we do all of that, and we do it in a very scalable way and for a lot of freight forwarders today.
Between forwarders and airlines, where do you see the rate of adoption higher?
Look, I think we're reaching a point on the airline side where many of the world's largest airlines cooperate with us. We're in partnership already. And so the rate of adoption there will necessarily slow down just because we're kind of reaching a bit of a kind of cap there on the market. And we'll continue to partner with smaller local players that, play an important role in some of the niche markets, but necessarily just because the market is limited in size on the carrier side, the adoption is slowing down. On the freight forwarder side, though, we're seeing this explode currently, right? Like we have this massive asset having integrated 55 airlines. There's a lot of value to be captured by freight forwarders today to search, to compare offers, to book offers. And that's growing across the board. It's growing in Europe. It's growing really fast in North America and Asia. We're quite happy about that.
What are you doing with the amount of data that you collected over a period of time? What is the value addition that you would tend to give to your freight forwarders and your airline customers? Probably at a premium, but how are you making use these data for insightful actions?
It's a very important question. And actually, when you look at what we do as a platform, we operate structured data. And that is very different to the human-to-human interaction that used to be part of this industry. And in that, we collect a lot of data and we make it available to those that actually give the data. So there's a gift to get model, and we have different data products that help airlines price better, target their customers better, get something in front of the customer that is actually relevant to them in that instance. So I have, a pharma customer that, looks for a secure, good connection, is likely willing to pay a slightly higher price. And so we have a lot of that data, and we can help airlines to tailor make their offering to that customer so that they see then relevant offering. And on the other hand, it's the same for freight forwarders, right? We can help them understand their own purchasing criteria and patterns. We can help them use and implement carrier programs and make sure that their staff is actually booking on those carriers. We can help them find the best price. If price is the only component or criteria, we can help them sort by quality. All of these factors, right, that help shape a procurement strategy at a freight forwarder.
5 years from now, what do you think is the future of Cargo.one?
Look, I think our role in this industry is to connect different players. We're built to connect. That's how we've built our technology, and that's how we operate as a player. I think, as I mentioned, for us, the next step is to go beyond that carrier to freight forwarder connection, adding more of these suppliers, truckers, ground handlers into the mix so that freight forwarders have a view on the offering that is out there for all of these players and are able to combine all of these into a valid quotation to a shipper to be able to quickly and accurately quote that shipper and then turn that into business that they win.
Moritz, you think Cargo.one is disrupting the market to some extent?
We never saw ourselves as a disruptor. I think we see ourselves more as a collaborator that wants to partner with the industry to help drive it forward. And sometimes that's disruptive because some players in the market might not want to tag on to that. I think what we've seen over the past 5 years is that while it felt a little bit like a disruption maybe in 2018, 2019, it feels a lot like this is the way the industry goes today. A lot of the major players are tagging onto it. And so I see myself more as an enabler than a disruptor. And I want to work with the industry to drive it forward and to future-proof it simply, because that's what we need to do to stay relevant in this fast-moving world. That's what we need to do to stay relevant for customers that have increasing expectations. We all have, next day delivery. We want to know where our parcels are, and it's our job as an industry to enable that and to enable that sustainably.
Let me ask this question to conclude this conversation. Air cargo supply chain is very complex. There are multiple stakeholders involved. Right now, you deal with the forwarders and the airlines. How do you think that you can seamlessly interconnect with the different stakeholders, ground handlers, airline, forwarders, shippers? Is there anything that you have in mind in terms of through APIs, working with the different stakeholders? You said you work like a collaboration. You are an enabler of this process. Is there any bigger thoughts in your mind of getting all of these players together?
I would say two things. I think firstly, as I mentioned, we've built all of our technology to be built in microservices that are all connected, even internally through APIs, which means everything we do, every little service, anything we touch is available through APIs and can be connected to an outside party if needed or consumed by an outside party. That's the one piece, and that's the technology piece that we just have right in our very DNA. The other bit is the hardest bit of kind of the air cargo supply chain is to integrate with the carriers, the air carriers that have traditionally been very slow, have pretty bad systems, and we've cracked that. We've managed to integrate 55 airlines. We're integrating about 12 a year, 12 to 15 a year, and so that's just continuously growing. All of the other players within the supply chain are actually much easier to connect. Trucking is much more standardized, so you might not need as much work to look at dynamic pricing and all of these things. And some of the other suppliers within the supply chain already have APIs ready, and so we're kind of integrating both through APIs and static ways to make sure that everything is there. But the hardest bit was getting the carriers online, because that's where the difficulty lies.
Moritz, thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Thanks, Reji.